We like to call her the Yellow Rose of Story Salon. Big round of applause for Miss Debbie Hall.
This is from my series called The Middle Ages, and tonight's story is called Social Security. I love meeting famous people. I like hearing the stories of their paths to success. It fills my heart to imagine their faces when the phone call came with their big break. Now here I am in the Middle Ages, and sometimes I confess I wonder when my big break will come. I've seen my Social Security statement. By all empirical standards, it is not the financial resume of a success. So when, I ask God in heaven, do I get my day in the sun? Then I realize I've had breaks, lots of them. They just did not come wrapped up in tinsel or with Oscar-worthy bows. Years ago, I took a job at a once prestigious high school to rescue a trashed drama program. Forced busing and gangs were all the rage. I had every kind of kid you can imagine. Fourth period, day one, the door opened and in strolled an assortment of gang bangers, a boy on prison release, and 4 girls. Cross-armed, they stared at me in stoic threat. First, I thanked them for color-coding themselves. Blue bandanas over there, red bandanas down here, yellow bandanas over here, undecideds over here, the kid on prison release, sit in the middle, put your ID badge away, you're not in prison here, and you 4 girls were right down front where I can see you. Then I opened my classroom door and I pointed out the pretty wreath on my door. Nobody touches this wreath. Are we clear on that? I was at that school for 7 years and no one ever touched that wreath. My drama program became the safe haven. It was the one spot in their day when everyone could drop their armor, abandon the facades, and just be kids. I got the girls transferred into other periods, and my 4th hour became my stage production class. They became known as the stage techs. Only my boys had access to the equipment room. Only they could sit in the booth in the auditorium. That was only if they cleaned it, kept it clean, and didn't do anything in there except run the pathetic lights that we had and/or sound. It wasn't easy, but by December we were in full swing, and all 200 of my drama students were bustling in programs and plays and skits and everything I could think of for them to do. Until one day after school when my door opened and in walked the 3 gang leaders. They announced that out of respect they were telling me that they were going to have a gang war in the parking lot after school in 3 days. What do you mean you're having a gang war? Have you lost your minds? We have 12 bus loads of elementary school kids coming from all over this town for our Christmas play, and will you just postpone it, or you stand there and tell those kids why beating each other up is more important than them? Well, they argued a bit, but then they decided, okay, they'd put it off for a week. A week? We can't have a gang war in a week. We have the school performances of the Christmas play, and you all are in charge of the Christmas program for the Children's Hospital. Now you talk to them about that. Okay, they agreed January. January? No way. Okay, then March. March? We have to get ready for state one-act competition, which you are all 3 involved in, and as a matter of fact, you have grade checks due on my desk in 2 days to clear you for no pass, no play. Then they said, well, Miss Hall, if we put it off till March, we won't even know what it's about. Exactly. By the next August, Prison Kid had graduated and was on parole. The remaining stage techs, now seniors, had enrolled in advanced drama. Over the summer, some of the gangs had dissolved, others had been created, and there was bandana confusion everywhere. I knew my boys were excited that they had at least one point of stability, one place where they knew who they were. My wonderful principal allowed me to put them together in one small class, now officially technical theater. We were all excited until the first day of school, when the door opened and in came 2 transfers from another school, placed in my class because there was no place else for them to go. These were the meanest looking boys I had ever seen in my life, leaders of the South Side gang. I looked to God. I could not do this again. It had taken a year of hard work and pure dedication to get these boys on the same page, and now war was on the horizon. I just stood there watching the boys square off, praying for a break. Fortunately, the bell rang. I went home in tears. Day 2, and my counselor appeal to have the 2 new gangsters removed was denied. Nowhere else for them to go. The bell rang, my door opened, and it was another day in hell. Day 3, I got them to sit down back in their gang groups and told them I was taking away all their privileges until they earned them back. They folded their arms and just stared at me. I stared back at them, those lost faces of young men trapped in a corner they did not build, the melancholy fury of confusion and pointless pride in their eyes. I told them I did not know what to do. I was fresh out of solutions, and this was a situation that was just beyond all. Then suddenly the door opened. Standing in the doorway, holding their little schedules, were 3 boys. One had a faraway look in his eyes, one was blind, and the other was in a wheelchair. I walked over and greeted them and saw that they had been mainstreamed. I raised my face to the heavens and then turned back to look at the boys from the hood. To my amazement, the newest gang member looked at me and smiled. "We got this, Miss Hall." And the boys with nothing to live for now had a way out. I had been given a divine break that day, and the stage techs were back. They took these 3 misbegotten wounded souls and made them stars. The only disagreement concerned what color bandanas the new techs would wear. After much discussion, we agreed to make them neutral and wear baseball caps. The blind boy was transferred to a wonderful school. The boy from special ed memorized every script, every cue, every name, basically everything that had to do with my program, and became the script supervisor. As it turned out, the boy in the wheelchair wasn't crippled, he just didn't know where he was supposed to go. Later, when he walked across the stage to get his diploma, my boys knew in their heart of hearts that they had a little something to do with it. I watched every one of those stage techs graduate that year, and I felt wealthy beyond all measure. In all my life, it has been my most significant break.
Debi Hall, ladies and gentlemen.